special guest for you guys today. We have Dr. Pavin Chachavalpongpun. I hope I pronounced your name right.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Associate Professor at the Center for Southeast Asia Studies at Kaito University. Welcome, Pavin. Very happy to see you. Okay, so we're gonna. You have a very interesting history with the Thai military junta, and you actually are exiled, and you're now in Japan. Can you basically tell our story and give us the context of what's going on in Thailand?
Sure, I'm gonna tell you briefly. The Thai military staged a coup in May 2014, overthrowing an elected government of Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra. As an academic, I have been very critical of the military intervention in politics for so long, including the politicization of the Thai monarchy as well. So when they staged a coup in 2014, they summoned me because of the fact that I had been very critical of the military. So I rejected the summons. In fact, they summoned me twice because I realized that I did nothing wrong, and because I was teaching at Kyoto University at the time. So I refused to have my attitude adjusted. That is a term that they use, when they summon anyone. This process called attitude adjustment. So I refused to have my attitude adjusted. Because of that, they decided to issue a warrant for my arrest, and shortly they revoked my passport, forcing me to apply for a refugee status with the Japanese government. Right now, basically, I am a refugee in Japan. So that is a brief history of myself.
Yeah, when I was researching that, I found that that story when they wanted to, they requested you, and then you kind of made a little bit of a joke that you're going to send your Chihuahua in instead.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing we must know, that dictators do not like joke. And immediately, if anyone follow me on Facebook, I like to come up with a number of jokes. So exactly as you said, because I said, dear General, I was so busy. I am teaching right now. So may I send my pet dog, a Chihuahua, to represent me in Bangkok. So that's why they get so angry with me.
That's probably part of the attitude that needs to be adjusted.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. Yes.
That's great. But that's part of, and this is kind of goes into where we're going to get into next, is about freedom of speech and being able to express yourself. And jokes are a way to alleviate the pressure and all this kind of stuff that's going on in Thailand. I know here in the States, I like to listen to comedy, and you get a lot of good information from being humorous and stuff like that. So I think it's important. So basically, I guess for the viewers that probably don't know what's going on in Thailand, you want to go over the coup d'etat real quick?
Sure. Again, I could say this, for days and days and days.
Yeah.
But I just want to be brief. Thailand has been under the influence of the military for so long, even though we call ourselves a democratic country, and we are heading toward the transitional period. When the current king, there would be a kind of royal transition very soon. The king kind of has become an epitome of political power again for so long too. Because of the upcoming royal transition, the military, which has held on to power for quite some time, immediately feel anxious about it. That's why they decided to stage a coup to ensure that the royal transition would go ahead smoothly, and to ensure also that the political interest would still be in the hand of the military and the monarchy. And in the process, they would be willing to undermine civilian government, for example, in overthrowing, a couple of strong civilian governments. And right now they are in the process of writing a new constitution, which would allow them, to hold on to power, even when the military would no longer be in power in the future. So again, in this process too, they try to eliminate critics, and academics are also a part of those critics who have to be eliminated. That's why, there's someone like myself, and I'm not just the only person who were summoned. There are other people, have to run away from Thailand after the coup of 2014. That's immediately caused an impact on the freedom of expression. And right now, with the emergence of the social media, many people in Thailand turn to social media, especially, Facebook, in order to voice their concern about the political situation. And not just that, they also use social media as a platform in order to share, to exchange information. So what I'm trying to say is that the military government is finding it so difficult to monopolize information like they was able to in the past. So that's why they turn a little bit crazy about about the power of social media, which I'm sure we can talk about this a bit later. But this is just to give you a context of what really going on in Thailand.
Yes, thank you. A little bit of feedback. But so you wrote a really good article, and it was the Thailand Facebook users under threat. And as I understand it, the Thai government has a history of using Facebook posts against people and prosecuting them. But this recent situation with the Facebook 8, it's a little bit different and a little bit more alarming because they're dealing with users' private messages. And in the article, you pose the same thought that I had when I was researching this topic, and it was the fears rise that the network is either cooperating with the authorities, or the authorities hacked into Facebook. Can you go into your article real quick? Oh, hold on. Unmute him.
You hear me?
Yeah, okay, now we can hear you.
Okay. Well, right now we are quite unsure what really going on between Facebook and the Thai military government. What I can give you again briefly two examples of what we have thought it might have happened. First, the military government started to arrest people who are responsible for making a Facebook page which mock the prime minister, which make fun the prime minister. As I said, dictator, they do not like to be a joke. They decided to arrest 8 people who made that Facebook page that make fun of the prime minister. Somehow they were able to access the private chat of these people on Facebook, and then they came out to say that the fact that they were able to access, and they did it in a legitimate way without explaining it. How could they access the private chat in the first place? In the meantime, 8 people who have been arrested also came out to say that they did not give out their password to the authority as well. So that raised, a lot of questions whether, Facebook had cooperated with the junta in providing access, to this private chat of those who have been detained. Second example is, there are certain page that have been blocked in Thailand. One of the prominent pages is a page that had the anti-monarchy element called Gu Khao, and somehow this page is no longer being able to access in Thailand. So this is really go against the principle of Facebook about promoting of freedom of speech and also respect for privacy as well. So we really don't know what's going on. I myself have written a message to Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook. I still have not got a response back, from him.
Yes, I read that message. Is very powerful. Also, too, I think what's going on with Facebook, and this is part of. I don't think it's necessary. It's right now. It's being highlighted by Thailand, but this is a human issue for everybody on the digital space that we need as human beings and as a global society, as humanity, need a space where we feel safe to express ourselves. And that's kind of the function, I guess, in the beginning of social networking. And it's alarming that we see a lot of these signs of them having their algorithms that kind of curtailed news feeds, We get reports of them doing mood experiments, and then now with either they're getting hacked into people's private messages, which is alarming, or they're cooperating, giving private messages.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, sure. But let me intervene a little bit. But it doesn't matter whether it has been hacked or whether Facebook has cooperated with the junta. But I mean, the reputation has gone. You know what I mean? And as you said, this is an issue of human being able to express how they feel. But in Thailand, it has gone another step. Further. These were private conversation. They did not express it in public. They did not mean to hurt anyone in particular, but because the issue of the monarchy in Thailand has become so sensitive, that's why people tend to talk, behind the scene. But yet, if Facebook had cooperated, this is so wrong because the sentence for anyone who has been charged with lèse majesté, we call this law in Thailand as lèse majesté, which means a crime, of insult against the Thai monarchy. This crime in Thailand has been severe. You could be put in jail between 3 to 15 years. And 8 people who were arrested earlier, 6 of them have been set free. Only 2 have remained in prison. Those 2 would be charged with lèse majesté. And this is because the Thai authority were able to access their private chat on Facebook.
Yes, and for me too, when I was heard about the news and I was researching it, I was reading this article on the Human Rights Watch, and they brought up about the harsh sentences that the 40-year-old mother was facing, 15 years for just agreeing, and that's horrible. But I also too, what they neglected to say is where is the responsibility or liability with Facebook? Because if they are giving out selling this information or even if they got hacked or how they got the private messages, the Thai government has been on the Human Rights Watch. The U.S. government has denounced them, and they know it should be known that the harsh sentences they could face for this, and that's really alarming. I think 15
Yeah,
years for yeah.
yeah, and I would never expect Facebook, to come out and admit it. Of course, Facebook would not come out and accept it. The Human Rights Watch, did ask a number of questions to Facebook, but I don't know why they send this question to Facebook in London, in the London office instead of sending it at Menlo Park headquarters. But anyway, the Facebook office in London then clarified its position that it never gave any access to the Thai authority, even though it did not say specifically why certain pages, Facebook pages, were blocked in Thailand. There were no comments on that. But somehow, I mean, as I said, I would not expect Facebook to come out and accept it anyway, even when it did give access to the Thai authority.
Yes, and so this situation is very alarming. But so what we're gonna get into too, and Bill was supposed to be here, but he's having a little bit of problems. I think he's sending in some questions. But real quick about Minds.com, and this is where I could probably speak a little bit about it because I have interviewed Bill a bunch of times. And one thing that they do right off the bat with Minds.com is it a end-to-end encrypted chat. So that means they don't even have access to your password for your chat. Now, our chat's not perfect, but they engineered that problem out of the equation. So even if the authorities were to ask them, oh, we need this guy's private messages, and they could tell him, we don't even have his password, so we can't do it. And this is really important issue. And also too, I guess kind of what brought you to Minds and how did you get?
Right. Sure. Yeah, I can say something about that. I mean, I think Minds just come at the right time. With people becoming more and more suspicious of Facebook, suddenly Minds has become an answer to the problem that user in Thailand have with Facebook. I just found out about this, from a colleague of mine who have been living in the States, pointing to this, the new social media source. And then I just went into it and I thought that, yes, this could be the solution, as I said. So and then I started to advertise my on my Facebook page, and I mean, quite quickly, many people who have followed me then started to see that my could serve as another venue for them to chit chat, and hopefully with more with I mean a better kind of safety when we talk about access to private chat. And as you yourself said, I think there's some room to develop, and I kind of quite like this encrypted private message. Another thing that I think is quite good, that when you click like or dislike anyone, it does not show who actually are they. And this could be good in Thailand because in increasingly the Thai government has gone once again a step further by you know by being willing to prosecute anyone who click like for any message that could be deemed as a threat to national security. So that kind of make people feel more aware of whether they should click like or not, because they can trace who really click like. But with the new system in mind, when you can be anonymous, I think that is really good.
Yes, and that's part of what draws actually a lot of us to Minds.com. And there's a certain amount of freedom you get when you kind of have this being anonymous, and you're able to express yourself a little bit more. But I know for a lot of people that I interact with and that are a part of this show, they are also too banned from Facebook for one, not even because they had you need to verify your ID, and a lot of them didn't want to do that. And Facebook has a pretty good history of censoring sensitive critical media and stuff like that. So this is a big issue I know for the community that I run with on Minds. And so I also was wondering too, where do you see, I guess, freedom of speech and expression for Thailand evolving? And can Mind play a little bit of a role, or?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would not expect that the situation in Thailand would improve, especially in terms of freedom of expression and also respect for privacy. Because in Thailand, this day, as we know, Thailand is in the custody of the military government. You cannot just go on the street and then start to protest against them. That has become illegal in Thailand. So that's why again, social media has become the only avenue for them to express how they feel, right? That's why I think there's a lot of potential for Minds, to be able to work with the user in Thailand. I just want to remind anyone here that I mean, with Facebook and also other kind of social media outlets, it has gone so it has grown so quickly in Thailand. Not to mention that in 2014, Bangkok has become the world capital of Facebook. More and more people, most people in Bangkok use a Facebook compared with any other capitals in the world. So again, the potential is there. Maybe might look into how to attract more of the users in Thailand. Maybe you might have to think about language support of the application. I don't know, and I mean to think about having representative in Thailand might be a bit too far-fetched, but there are certain things that might should think about bringing more and more of users from Thailand, because this is a very potential market.
Yes, I know for a past interview, when we were talking about different things that are on the horizon, and this is the good thing about Minds, it's still in development, but the CEO Bill and John are accessible. You can reach out to them and talk to them, and we as the Minds panel show, as a community, this is what we got together so we could speak our voice, and they listen to us. And so one of the things that is on the horizon is a translator, so that would be easier for the communications, because we have a lot of people, like most of the people that I really interact with are international. I talk to people in Germany, in Amsterdam, in Australia. My friend who's here, he's in New York, and I like that about Minds, is kind of like international global reach that I get. And I guess I got this message from Bill, and he wanted to see what is your interpretation of Minds as far as, because you have a big following on Facebook and you've been very active on Facebook, and I think you probably have noticed that how they how their algorithms kind of suppress your reach as it was before. Maybe some of your posts don't get as far as it does, versus Minds doesn't have an algorithm like that. I mean, your post is organic, and actually, when you posted about you being on the show, our site got hit a lot. We got bumped up by like 3 times what we normally get visits on our people interested in and trying to see. So I was wondering what you feel about so far in your experience with Minds.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, in my situation might be different from other people because I have such huge followers. So sometimes the point system, frankly speaking, on mine, I'm still not quite sure how it works. I need to spend some time to work on it. But I think briefly, maybe I can use point in order to push my some of my statuses like to the top of the feed so that any other people could see it. I think that would be useful. But again, in my case, as I said, it might be a bit different from other people because I already have a large number of followers. Without being pushed to the top, I'm sure that people will look at my post anyway. But I think this could work for other people, which I think this is something that Facebook do not have.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can think about it. I mean, it's a lot right now. I don't think you explain that clearly. There's a lot of people in Thailand who become so puzzled about how my is working. So I hope that you would be able to support in terms of explanation in Thai. Hopefully, I know it will not be easy. There's some website in Thailand already translated everything in Thai, how to apply, to become a member of my. Uh, uh, Hopefully, there would be a lot more of website like that trying to explain the
Yeah.
situation. Yeah,
We are actually, as the Minds Panel Show, are investigating that and researching that. We have a number of kind of like translators, but we kind of want to reach out to maybe to the Thai community, and maybe we do tutorials, but maybe get those tutorials on Minds translated into Thai so we can
yeah,
help out and work together. Actually, this is how I got in contact with you. We're talking about the organic reach. I wrote an article or a blog about the situation, and it was mainly focused on what I was talking about, the Facebook's responsibility or liability in all of this, and how do they get the private messages. And this is something that I'm kind of concerned about is, your own personal data and how it's being used. And a lot of people don't even realize how their data on the internet is being
mm.
used. But
I,
this is,
yeah. Sorry, another thing also we just pop up in my mind. I think my might have to. I don't know how to suggest apart from saying that it has to be friendly user. Uh, I think a lot of people who have been using Facebook have become guest used. They have become, I mean, so used to Facebook system. Then whatever they do not find on mine that they could find on Facebook, they feel frustrated. You know what I mean?
yes,
But
yes,
again, I don't know how to suggest. But I guess that over time people would get used to my. But this is what I have heard uh, from my followers on Facebook.
yes. That's the same thing we get to with our community, and even with my own friends personally. When I try to get them to come over to Minds, and they kind of, it's not user friendly. That's a term that we use, and we got to get more user friendly, and it's happening, and we're getting more features, and we're still developing. But I wanted to go back to when I wrote that blog. Um, Someone from the Thai community, he's called Non Drama, and he,
Yep.
he reminded my post, and I didn't recognize, because I look into my notifications that, like, oh, someone reminded my stuff. I don't recognize that guy. Let me go over there and like communicate with him, because we're big on, we call it comment culture, of having dialogues with people and not being so passive with just liking and stuff like that. So I saw them having a conversation about privacy, and they were talking, and this is his response. He's like, nowhere is safe. It's just a place that you find your tribe. As long as we're still living in Thailand, but those who are living abroad, it is still their safe playground. no report or being access banned from Thailand, like Facebook. He's talking about mines, and I told him yes, like you got to be aware anywhere you go. But as far as right now, of all the social networking, mines, especially in somewhere in Thailand where it's very critical what gets out of your private messages and stuff like that. This is the safest of the playgrounds, and it's like what I said. It's important to have somewhere where you could express yourself and feel safe doing it. I mean, it's a human issue. It's good. This is part of being a human. You need to express yourself. And us as the Minds community, I've been actually really happy. I mean, I've been really nice when I come around with you guys. I've seen a lot of expressions, a lot of artwork, music, also your political images, which are always good to look. So we are definitely looking to working more closely with the Thai community and being more user friendly. Too bad we couldn't have Bill on, but we're gonna have his part of the interview a little bit later.
No, no. Just my last point, I think to be successful in the Thai market, especially right now, I think the keyword is you have to guarantee them a kind of safety. I think that would come up on top of anyone's head right now. You know, that would be a major reason why they want to migrate to mines, because a lot of people have been let down by Facebook when it comes to security safety issue. So if you could make sure that this point had been emphasized and emphasized, re-emphasized, so I think that is the way to go right now. And apart from being a user friendly.
Different. Yes, yeah, and I think we are gonna definitely try once we get Bill to try to clarify it, but then also to us as a show to keep on emphasizing the features of the privacy, but also to another part of what we're gonna do, and this is what we're gonna do probably tomorrow, and we're gonna have like a practical guide of how to keep yourself somewhat protected on the internet. For instance, there's a bunch of different services that people could use. Encrypted email, a nice encrypted email service that we use, and it's from Switzerland. It's called Proton Mail. There's this other real simple attachment to your browser. It's called Ghostery. So it makes sure that it keeps your data from getting mined on when you're going around the sites and things like that. And then hopefully too, when we reach out, anybody listening in the Thai community that feels comfortable translating, reach out to me, Satori D. We'll make posts. We'll give you our tutorials, and then you could dub them over in Thai, and we'll work closely. And I'd like to thank you for coming in. And anything you want to say to Minds community, to anybody else, anybody outside of our community?
Well, I'm just glad that we have another kind of social media platform for us to experience. And as I said, Minds has come at the right time when Thailand has sunk further into political turmoil. And hopefully, Minds would be the right answer for what a lot of Thai people have been facing, especially in terms of respect for privacy and also freedom of expression. So here we go.
Yes, for freedom of expression. And thanks again for coming in. And I'm sure we'll keep in contact, and looking forward to seeing what blossoms with the human expression. Thank you again.
Thank
Bye.
you.